Hello and welcome to another episode of El Heron. My name is Rob Runacres, and tonight, well, my friend Hans Jorlind is going to be asking me some questions. What are you going to be asking me about?
Well, apparently you went to Rome, so I will ask you a couple of questions about that. It seemed to be a great event, and I see a lot of pictures on Facebook and everywhere, and people seem to have loved it. So I just want to know.
It was a superb event. So are you upset that you didn't get to go, Hans?
Damn you. Yeah, I know. I didn't go this year, but
no.
Okay.
It was a stunning event. It was really, really good. So, what would you like to know?
Well, first of all, the differences between like this event and others, like the normal events that we usually go to, Swordfish, and we have the competition-based events like Nordic Historical Fencing League, the kind of Northern Europe events and this kind of event. What's the big difference? What would you say?
I think actually it was in the composition of what it was trying to do. It was a competition event. The second day was all-day competition, quite a long day as it turned out. But for me and for the other instructors who were there, what we got very excited about was the range of different instructors who are being brought together. You see, traditionally you've got people perhaps like Alberto Bonprezzi, Tom Poy travels a fair amount, Francesco, of course, Chris Chatfield. They tend to do a certain set of events. Then you've got people like Axel Pettersson, he was there, Jake Norwood was there as well. He does a certain set of events. And then you've got people like Daniel Jacquet, Greg Melly. And so what we had was this sort of melting pot of different instructors from, different views of HEMA, different aspirations within HEMA. And as a consequence, it meant that it was quite an eclectic mix. And it's kind of difficult to convey, but a lot of the conversations that we were having with each other, as well as with students, senior fencers, was fascinating. I had a long chat with Greg Melly because he's not a competition guy, and I think there's a bit of a mythology to say that if you're not a competition person, that means you're against competitions. He just has a slightly different view on things. So we had long chats about that, and also different training techniques, different methodologies. So that was how it differed from just about all the events I've ever been to. I think insofar as how it differed from how we would know it, say, in the more Nordic areas, the more competition-centric areas, is it was very workshop-based. Now, Swordfish has brilliant workshops, but they sometimes get put in the shadow by the competition there, and of course that's what most people want to do. And workshops are often done separately or as a weekend or something like that. This event had a large amount of workshops there, and a lot of people attending. They weren't just going for the competition, so there was no sort of central focus one way or other. And the last thing, which was immensely pleasurable for me, was it was predominantly a rapier and side sword attended events. I mean, there were lots of longsword workshops there, but most of the people there were interested in various forms of rapier or side sword. So that was great for me, because generally, there's half a dozen of us hanging around out back, sort of being spat out the rapierists. Whereas this time it was really, really good. Cool. There were lots of people events. I spent 3 days sparring, and as well as teaching, so that was great.
Yeah, cool. Okay, we're going to talk about the tournament in a while. I just wanted to ask you, were there any workshops that you felt that, oh yeah, everyone should go and take that class? I mean, I know that you held classes, actually. I know that Axel had a really good Meyer longsword workshop. I've seen that several times. It's really good. Chris Chatfield, what was he doing?
Right. Well, there are various things to say from that. All of the workshops are very well attended, and you kind of put him on the spot, because I do want to say that my workshop was really great.
Oh, okay.
Particularly the first one, the rapier and dagger one, that was slightly too many people almost, because it was really full. A lot of people had quite full workshops. The ones I saw, Tom Quay's one, to do with I think it was Rada, looking at rapier and dagger and how to work on that. That for me was very exciting to see. I really enjoyed watching Jake Norwood's class. He has a great sense of humour whilst conveying a huge amount of information, and everyone was really enjoying that. That really came off well. Didn't see too many others. So I can't really comment too much on that, but certainly the instructors were very, very happy about it. There was a buzz about the 1595, Chris Chatfield's one again, and also for Axel's workshop. So I think, I mean, it's very difficult without wanting to sort of detract from anyone. Everyone seemed to have a really good time, and it was very, very full. And I think a lot of people were taking these, what they were learning in the workshops, and actually immediately playing with it and trying things out. I certainly saw some people messing around with things afterwards. They weren't just sort of wandering off to do something else or something like that. They were actually taking what was being taught.
Yeah, okay. But it's always really nice to see a lot of people taking workshops, but usually we don't have time, because you're going to fight an event, you're going to fight in a tournament, you have to judge the whole tournament or something, so we don't really have the time to go to workshops. And that's a shame, actually, because we have a lot of really, really good instructors out there, and Rome seemed to have kind of packed everyone together. So that was amazing. I'm really bummed that I missed the whole thing.
Yeah, we missed you guys, actually. Yeah, it was good. It was certainly very, very fun on that one.
Okay, but apart from all these amazing workshops, how about the tournaments then? You know, what kind of disciplines did they have?
Right, well, you had, I believe, 76 people in the single rapier, so that was the largest competition. There was a sword and buckler competition, an invitational longsword, and there was also a side sword competition. I decided for this event I didn't want to compete. I just really wanted to chill out and try and spar, because I had certain specific aims for what I was doing that I really needed to try and spar with. I did, however, watch, and I recorded some things. So for people watching this, we have got short videos from the event in a series of vlogs if people want to have a look at that. I think the quality of the rapier was equivalent to the quality of the longsword you see in a large event like Swordfish, because you got the numbers there, and you're in an environment where the weapon form is trained. And so you had a number of people who were okay, they were just having a pop, they weren't necessarily that good because it was open. But then you started to see the quality really come through towards the end. So that was really pleasing for me to see, because I know we've discussed in other episodes how we haven't always been very satisfied with what we've seen in the rapier, so the rapier and dagger and other events. This was really, really good.
Okay.
The sword and buckler, I think, was okay. It was a bit messy. Ladies single rapier was also very, very good. I would say the side sword was okay. It didn't fall into some of the sloppier elements that you could have. The long sword, well, by that time it was getting very late, and this is where, if we're going to have a criticism of the event, this is perhaps where we might want to look at. I don't want people to put too much on this, but really what I feel is they tried to do too many things in one day. It was just too much. I think the difficulty they had in the main was getting a number of judges. I noticed that a lot of the refs are having to work through the day with minimal breaks. So it's a long day for those people. Having said that, I do want to point out a couple of names of people who I thought did very well. Saw a match with Daniel Romeo, who's one of the senior ARA guys. Last time I saw him, he was, I mean, this is a few years ago, he was quite nervous when he was going into competition. He was fencing really beautifully. So he's a guy to really check out. There's a guy called George Livermore. who is a giant, effectively. He ended up coming third in the single rapier, and he also got a prize for having least amounts of hits against him in the competition. He's a really big guy, and he moves with a cat-like grace. I mean, I'm very enthusiastic about 1595 anyway, but he's really worked hard, and he's done ever so well. He got knocked out by my mate Thibaut Gequer, who went through to the final, and Thib is a brilliant single rapierist. He's also too damn humble. He's really very fine, and that was a nice fight. And I think both of them were actually quite pleased with the result, because George was satisfied that he went out on, against a very good opponent on this. For the ladies, Katie Ritzy, really nice lady. She did really well. And then of course we've got to talk about Enrica Angiolini. She got 2 medals, 2 silvers, one for the side sword and one for the rapier, and she did brilliantly as well. Ladies was won by Christine Consmo, excellently, and I think her form is really improving as well. I think because the quality of the fencers she was facing was so high, that actually upped her game. She did say afterwards that she wasn't very happy with her form, but I think she's really come on. For me, the highlights in the finals, and this is where I go completely fanboy, was when you had Thibaut versus Francesco Loda. You may have heard of Francesco Loda. He's got some abilities, I believe, in fencing.
Oh, okay.
They had a final. I was coaching Thib, and it was close. The issue is with how they did it was you didn't have clear 3-minute bouts. It went to a certain point level, but the final was held in the Temple of Hadrian in the middle of Rome. Which wasn't bad, not bad for a final.
I was probably home doing my laundry at the same time. That sucks so much. Carry on.
I'm sure our viewers are very happy to hear that. But it was awesome. It was really good, and there was a real joy to see 2 great fencers, have that match. Think of Dennis and Anders at Swordfish. That's exactly the sort of thing we're having. My complaint, though, is, come on, it's the final. You're going to have it there. Give them 2 3-minute bouts. Let's see them fight. It's awful for them because it's a lot, but great stuff.
But can you talk a little bit more about the rules? What was it? Weighted scores or anything, or?
It was pretty much you had the thrust had greater weighting and thrust of the certain targets would have greater weighting as well. The finals, they actually had it on 0 and its points taken away. And I think it was 5 -5 was the limit. So
did it work? The system, did you feel that yes, this works, this is a cool system to try for tournaments, or?
I don't think I was that engaged with the rule set to really say. I was I didn't really study it, as I say. My interest was to watch some fights, but to go and do my stuff. I do feel that it was too tight. There were some confusions in the sword and buckler. There was some messy play. I wasn't so keen on the long sword. It was actually 2-handed sword, so you had a Montante fighter in there along with long sword. I didn't particularly like the mixture of seeing a Montante with a feather. That was also the last fight, and for me, I would have put the ladies' rapier and the men's rapier, whichever way round, as the highlight, because those really reflected in quality.
And you mentioned there was 76 in the men's single rapier, right?
Yeah. That was, I think that was an open. Yeah.
That was like that's pretty much like long sword swordfish. Because I think the cap there is like 70, 80 people or something. So that's kind of cool. That's impressive. That's really impressive.
It's a lot, and it was really, really good. And I think,
cool.
I mean, I would say for this event, I think Longsworders would have gotten a lot out of this event as well. I don't think the focus on the longsword competition was quite as much as it was on the rapier. You know, that's just in the competition side. Should also mention that the ARA staff were brilliant. Guys like Stefano, Riccardo, Palagiani, Silvia Tomasetti, they worked extremely hard to get this together. We were really well looked after. The hotel and the area was all in one complex, and we got taken on tours around Rome and everything. So they really pulled out the stops.
So this event was in Rome. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Did you not go?
No.
You should have gone, Hans. You'd have probably liked it. You'd have learned a lot.
Okay. Well, it's in Italy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well. It was so much on TV, So.
All right. Yeah. Cheers. Anyway.
There was actually another tournament going on also, kids tournament.
Yes, there was. Cool. It was brilliant. I loved it. They had little ones. I don't know what the youngest age was. It must have been something like 6 or 7. And these were little ones who were basically had the very soft sort of plasticky sports FA things, and they were just having some fun. Basically running at each other and poking each other, then running away giggling. Brilliantly patient judges, I have to say. The Alessandro was one, I think. They were just like really patient with this sort of chaos around their knees. But what was interesting was the older ones were really getting quite technical and getting good. And this, of course, is the future of HEMA. Starting people at the younger age, they were good.
And the kids were all the kids from Francesca from the Roman club,
pretty much, yeah. Okay. So and that was really impressive to see. It was a really warm and happy event.
Cool.
And unlike, I don't know if you went to an English football soccer match where the dads were going, "Your son's crap," or something like that. All of the parents were just there and really enjoying it and having lots of fun. And there are a few over emotional kids, but generally it was a real joy to see. And I think this is something for which ARA should really be commended.
Yeah, cool. Sounds wonderful. Okay, so what do you bring? What do you take with you? What did you take with you from this event? I mean, okay, you had a brilliant time with everyone. You sparred a lot. What is something specific that you just?
I think for me, it's it's a chance to sort of meet colleagues, but also to meet the 4 people who I think have played the greatest influence in what I do. Which are Chris Chatfield, Francesco Loda, Tom Pry, and Alberto Bonprezzi, all of whom are incredibly humble people, and that's become something of a cliche to say, but at certain events we see an arrogance among certain instructors, I feel. And these guys are really at the top of their game. When they do stuff, it's really quite incredible, and they're not just in one area. They're not like winning a competition or having done a translation. These guys are doing it all, and the chance to meet them and be with them again is superb. I had a lovely spar with Alberto, and that was really important for me because the first time I met Alberto, the first time I went to his event, his guys murdered me. They completely, and that was really difficult for me to deal with. But it was a chance to see how I progressed and how well the system I've been working on is doing. And I think that was really important. It's important that you have these events where the instructors are putting themselves out, making themselves available, and also trying things with lots of different people. So it means that a beginner can go up to one of the names and they're not made to feel nervous or anything like that. They are brought in, they're probably talked half to death, and they get to try stuff out. And it's easy to sort of engage in Purple Prose because, sort of post the gig, you're always excited about it. But it was really a very warm event, very inclusive, and just a real joy. I was fencing with the head of the 1595 club in Milan, Jamie Steele, who's a brilliant fencer, and we were discussing how we're taking more joy from being hit because of the facing someone, having a really good fence, and the construct of the attack and the way in which you've been hit is brilliant, and the mutual appreciation is fantastic. Again, George Livermore, I fought him single rapier versus sabre, and he managed to outfox me on one moment and got a fantastic shot to my shoulder. And again, it is crazy as opposed to a lot of these men go, oh shit, you start to bounce around because it's just such a good feeling to really have that quality. So yeah, basically. It is the sort of event that I really want to see more of and to attend more. That's it really. I don't think I could be any more enthusiastic about it.
No, but that sounds perfect. So thank you very much. Well, I'm going next year, so.
Will you?
Yeah, I am.
You said you were going this year.
No, wait. It was in Rome, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds boring.
Yeah, they don't have much there. They don't colour.
No.
There's a collection of rubble you can see. Yeah, that's me, mate. That's there was a tour around me.
Oh,
there was the Roman ruin.
Okay, thank you very much, Rob.
All right, chap. Okay,
cool. Thanks.
Bye.